Hello, and welcome to HRBC show called Let's Talk. So, today's guest is the Honorable Senator Spruill, and he is running to be our next representative in the 18th district. So, we're going to find out, ask a couple of questions and see why he might be the right choice for us. Hey, would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
Yep. How you doing this morning, first of all? My name is Honorable Spruill. Been a long time resident of South Norfolk County, now merged together to become Chesapeake. And I started off by going to the public schools in South Norfolk. Then when they merged together, the Carver High School, Chesapeake, attended Norfolk State. 8 years on the Chesapeake Planning Commission, almost 8 years on the City Council, 22 years in the House, and 8 going on 9 years in the Senate. And I'm a people's person. Just believe in people, to put people before self, because 15 brothers and sisters, some of the people who helped me out during my whole lifetime. So I was raised that way, to put people's first. And that's it. So that's what I do in life. And because I put people first in my life, I was able to get the chance by William Ward and Willa Bazemore, the appointment to the Planning Commission, because I've done so much in the community and in West Monday area. That's how we got started. So I'm there, and the people kept on elevating me because of the work that I do for the community. That's it.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us a little more about your gun control bill? What does it entail?
Okay, that bill was put in, was Senate Bill 1067. It will give the Virginia judges great authority to issue restraining order to take guns away from dangerous people. What happened was, I sent out a flyer. Number one, people who make threats against family members, neighbors, co-workers towards the school. Number two, people who have committed acts of violence or used physical force against another person. Number three, people arrested for stalking those who have violated previous protective order. Number four, people who have attempted to suicide or have threatened to inflict bodily harm. So this, we were saying, this would give the judges to option. Once you heard us in court, they give the judges to look at these items and give them the option to say whether or not you should have a gun in the home or not. Truly, I'm definitely against all the assault weapons, these AK, whatever you call those assault weapons. You don't need any of those. I'm definitely against those. So we thought maybe, since a lot of gun violence start within the home because of problem, because of sickness, we thought maybe that once they go to court, that the judges, they have to say so, to allow you to say so, to have a gun or not.
Okay. So, just to be clear, no one has to worry about anybody coming to get their guns if they don't fall into any of those categories, correct?
That's for the judge. This would allow the judge to do that. That's right. Nobody. That's right.
Awesome. Okay. So now, with the price of everything going up, retired people are finding it hard to survive on their retirement pay. How do you feel about putting a cap on how much Dominion Energy can charge people for electricity?
See, that's a hard question because it's done by the SCC, but I think we need to look at renewable efficiency energy that is it cost efficient, that will bring down the cost. For example, like we have those windmills that we have out in the question. So with that, the SCC looks at what they want to do, because sometimes the energy, when they build new projects, it's passed on to the customer. And we say, we want more electricity during the peak summer months. Sometimes power shuts down, so we want more. But they let the customer pay for it, because they don't pay for it out of their money. But it's hard for us to determine that, because the way it works in the SCC, they determine the rates. So I think we need to look at the renewable energy that would have an effect on bringing the energy down. That's what we're looking at now.
Okay. All right. Well, how do you feel about not taxing retirement pay?
I'm retired myself. I love it. I love it. But you can't do it that way because remember, the Constitution, the retirement pay, if we do it, if we take away the tax put up from the state, money that comes from somewhere. Remember, the state operates on our taxes, you see. So if you take it away, I would love it, you know. But as far as the reality was, we can't really because remember the Constitution is in Virginia, we are bound to have a balanced budget. We are one of the few states in the country. And one of them say you must have a balanced budget. So if we do that, then what are we going to take away to do that with? What government we going to replace it with? But as far as me personally, yes, I would love it. But I know from a realistic point of view, we can't do it that way because we have to have a balanced budget in the state.
Okay. Well, how about ending property tax on vehicles?
Yes, you weren't born. You was too young because you're too young. Back in 1994-96, Governor Gilmore ran on no more car tax. Okay, and that's how he got elected. But when he got to the General Assembly, he had 50 Republicans, he had 50 Democrats when he got to the General Assembly. And what happened was, when he ran on that, then the Democrats and the Republicans had some issues with it. I was the vote that voted with him to give the tax break to no more car tax to lower the taxes. The reason why I did that, because that was the year that Norfolk State and Virginia State were having problems financially. And what happened was, so I got on the floor, and I talk about the members of the General Assembly. I say, when you go up on the ninth floor, I was a new member of the General Assembly, by the way. When y'all go up on the ninth floor, do something for Norfolk State, Virginia State. And he heard what I had to say. He said, I went to his office, and he said, listen, what did I run on? I said, sir, you ran on no more car tax. He said, well, I have 50 votes. And because of that, he helped me through the House Finance, the Appropriation House, and the Finance on the Senate side to get all this money from Norfolk State, Virginia State. In return, I got a honorary doctor degree from Norfolk State, the House War from Virginia State. I voted for that to the car tax, to lower the car taxes. But now, to answer your question, I believe that once you own a car for 8 years, you should have to pay no more car tax. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to put a bill in on that. When you buy a car new, you got to pay it new. But to me, you pay car tax on the car. You drive that car tax off the lot and bring it back the next day. Guess what? It ain't worth the same thing that you paid for it. Yeah. So to me, if you buy a car 8 years, to me, I'm trying to finish up what he started. He wanted no more car tax, but it didn't work. But it's lowered down as you age. But to me, once you own a car 8 years, the way I feel about it, you shouldn't have to pay no more car tax at all after 8 years when you buy a car.
I can work with that.
You can't work with that? I thought you would like that.
I work with that. I like that. Because I was in I live in Portsmouth, so I was at the Portsmouth City Treasurers, and the man before me was an older guy, and he said he'd been paying for his truck for 20 years. Taxes on a truck for 20 years. Now you would have paid more than the truck worth now.
My ex-wife and I, we are real good friends. By 1994 Q45, I'm still paying taxes $20 to $6. That's at 1990. I mean, it was 93 when we bought it, and we still paying taxes. That thing popped somewhere, still paying taxes on it. You mean tell me all this long time, since 1993, here this is 2023, you're still paying taxes on it. I really believe when you buy that car, after 8 years, you should pay no tax at all. Because you pay enough taxes when you first buy the darn thing anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's matter of fact, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to win, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that proposal in that when you purchase a car, a new car, 8 years that you pay them more car taxes. And those who own a car now, we had over 8 years, give it 1 year for us to get the budget together. No more car tax bill. It's time for us to stop paying car taxes, especially after we had the 8 years.
Works for me. Okay. My next question. I recently attended a forum about affordable housing with landlords requiring up to 3 times the rent deposit. People can no longer afford to live in Hampton Roads. Are there any thoughts on getting developers to get past the stigma of affordable housing and section off more of it when they build in our cities?
Yes, it is excessive, too much. But I think this is excessive, and it's something that we should look at on the state level, because we had bills back and forth on what they should charge, what they shouldn't charge. So I think that's something that we should look at on the state level to reduce that. It is really, it's too much, it's excessive. Yes, we should do something about that.
Okay.
I can't speak much on it because it's a state thing, but I would definitely say that we should be able to do something about that. And we should be able to pass laws to help that along.
You had a bill that increased jury duty pay to $100. What made you think of this?
The sheriff of Norfolk, Joe Byrne, my friend, said to me, Senator Spruill, we're having a problem in getting jurors to serve on. Because let's say, for example, you're on your job and you make at least on your job, you make 8 hours, okay? And what happened was a jury duty, let's say the duty is more than 1 or 2 days, and they were paying $50. It has not been raised in 31 years. 31 years, and I put it in for $100. And Andrew Graves on the House side put it in for $50. We did that way because Senator Lewis put it in last year for $100, and the bill died in the House. So I said, well, let me get a chance to get it out. Her $50 in the House died, but my $100 passed the Senate. But it went to the House. They said, no. So they did raise, because wait a minute, I was wrong. It wasn't $50. It was $30. It was $30. I back up. I made a mistake. It was $30 for 31 years. $30. So I did manage to get it from $30 to $50. But my bill was $100. But the House will not go along with it because they killed Andrew Graves' bill in the House for $50. And mine passed the Senate for $100. So it went to a conference. So they said, Spruill, you can get it raised from $30 to $50. If not, it would die in the House. So I said, well, I got $20 more. So I accepted the $20 more than the $50. Could you imagine $50? That's crazy. All day long from the jury, $50. No way. So that's what it was. It came about because we can't find people who will serve on the jury. Say, hey, I lose money on my job. $50 a day, 8 hours. The next day, I lose money. So that's why I try to say, hey, at least get the minimum wage. $100 would have bought it close to $12 something an hour.
So will you try again?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. If we can have a different House and I keep the Senate we got, yes, ma'am, I would try again to raise $100 again. Yes, I would do that.
Okay. So, when reelected, what 3 things do you plan to accomplish that will help the citizens of your district?
Transportation in the region. We have transportation. Some take Suffolk. They have a hard problem with transportation. In the rural areas of Chesapeake, they're having a hard time on their transportation because they need transportation to bus out there to back and forward. Ensure that everyone has access to quality health care. Until the mental health care, do you believe here we are the richest country in the world, and especially those who are in the military. They are the military. They're walking the streets at night. Something happened. You lock them up. They take them to the hospital the next morning. They keep them overnight. The next morning, they let them out. So to me, I'm saying, hey, we got to do something for health care. And especially for our senior citizens, it's important that we do that. It's a challenge, especially those who have dementia and amnesia. And our youth now are facing so many mental health problems in school. So that's one thing that we need to do. And the third thing, we need to work on stronger gun laws control bills. And we worked on that, but our gun laws bills not strong enough. In some states, you can wear a gun like you do in the cowboy days. I'm a cowboy freak, by the way. I watch cowboys all day. But we need to have more control on guns. Now, I am going to propose this year a bill that says that when you legally push the gun, proper training, all that kind of stuff for your safety, that you will have some insurance. I'm not talking about insurance on the gun. I'm talking about insurance besides that. Same thing right now. You have a car. You have insurance on that car just in case you accidentally hurt someone. Okay, your insurance take care of it, right? Your insurance take care of it. So I propose that the same thing happens. That when you buy a gun, you have to have some insurance in case a child, as you know, what happened in Newport News when the child shot the teacher. I'm glad she's okay, but the parent stepped up to say, "I am responsible." But I'm saying, so the parents at school is suing the school system. Don't know what's become of that, but I believe that you should have some insurance on that gun so the victim could get some compensation from that gun when the accident happened from you. So I'm gonna put that in. I said, hey, come on, Spruill. I said, hey, what's the difference? You got a car, you pay insurance on it. If you hurt someone, if you don't hurt somebody, you're still paying for it. So I want to make sure that the victim have some protection on the gun in school.
Okay. Well, those are all the questions that I have. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people?
Yes. It's let the folks know as far as this election is that I believe you have to work with everybody across party lines to get things done. And everybody was saying to me as far as how you vote, the party, the Democrats may control the Senate, the Republicans control the House. To me, I am sent there to work for the people. Okay, so I work across party lines to get things done for the people, not for the party. The party is okay on certain issues, but we were sent there to work for the party and not for I. And that's the difference between me and my opponent. To me, I work with across party lines, the Democrats, Republicans, Independents, to hey, what can we do to help the citizens of Virginia? Because that's me. When my opponent, all about I'm gonna be the first this, I want this, so forth. You're not sitting there for yourself. You're sitting there to work for the citizens, all the citizens, regardless of what party, regardless of who they are, black or white, to do the job for the citizens of Virginia. That's why I should be reelected.
All right. So when should we be doing? When is this election going
This
on?
election is June 20th. Right now, you still have an early voting in the city of Chesapeake on Cedar Road at the registrar's office from 8 to 5, and on Saturdays from 9 to 5 on Saturdays. In Portsmouth, it's at 801, I believe it's 801 Crawford Street, the registrar's office. You can vote early voting there from 8 to 5 during the day, and also on Saturday. And this is the last week for it. And you still have an absentee ballot. You can be sure to get those in if you have those available. And that's to make sure you should look at the candidates exactly who is working for the people and not for themselves. And that's my whole pitch. Not down to anybody. I'm saying, look at the record. Look at the record who try to work with everybody. That's my goal. Work with everybody to get things done and not for myself. And that's what I'm winning, because I'm a people's person to work with everybody to get things done. Don't look at no issue, what part of whatever you want to look at. Look at what's done, because my job is to serve the citizens of my district and Virginia. And that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you a lot for agreeing to come. That's all I got.
Thank you. Something happened. Bye.